Okay, hello and welcome back. In the last class, we talked about how to import and manage media within Resolve. And in this class, we are going to look at the basics of tracks and inspector properties. In the last class, we learned to import a media directly by just dragging and dropping, or we can on our own select the in point and out point to drag and drop, or we can manually on our own decide to select any in point. Okay, you can define whether you want to import everything. You can just drag and drop everything into the timeline, just like so. Now, when you import the media into the timeline, it falls into these two tracks. There are two tracks by default, the video and the audio section. Like you see now, this video has a video section and it has an audio section, and they are linked together. Now, to the left, you can see you have the track's name. Okay, so you have V1 and A1, which means video 1 and audio 1. This is how they are classified. This is the name, video 1 and audio 1. You can double click to rename the track. For example, you can say the card track. For example, you can just call this the card track, and you can just hit out, and this tracks now takes in the name of a card track. Now you have other bunch of controls to the video track that you can see. You can disable the video with this, or you can enable it directly, or you can use the auto track selector if you're interested, and you can lock the track directly, and this means it cannot be moved or edited directly. When you lock a track, you cannot move it or edit it. It stays fixed, and you can unlock it, and then only then you can move it or change any kind of its properties. Now down here you have the audio track. You can as well rename it, and you can call it the maybe trial audio. For example, you can rename it as you so wish, and then you can as well mute it. If you want to mute, if you use this mute track, it means whatever you play, this track is going to be silent. Okay, this particular track, whatever is on it, no matter how long it is going to stay silent. And then you can solo a track. When you solo a track, what this means is all the other tracks are going to be muted. If you have other tracks that contain audio, all of them are going to be muted. You can only hear only this track. Okay, when you solo a track, all others will be muted, and this is the only one you can share. You can do auto track selector as well, and you can lock it directly against any edits that you can no more edit until you unlock it. Now, when you select a particular track, another thing that you can do is you can come to the right here. You have the track mixer. You can do solo of a track, or you can mute it as well from here, that particular track you're working on. Again, you can create new tracks by just coming over here. If you're at the top here, it means you can create video tracks, and it's going to add a video track just by right clicking and clicking on new track. You can see it's added a video track, which you can double click and rename it as we've explained. When you come down here, you can right click and you can just go ahead and say create a track. Now it's going to detect that automatically you are trying to create an audio track, and it's going to give you this much option. Are you going to create mono track or a stereo track, or however you want it? You can select the properties and select that particular track you're trying to create. For me, I go with mono, so I create another track. So you can see we have a number of tracks. You can create multiple tracks if you're interested. So you can undo this. Let's undo this as well. I want to show something. Automatically by default, when you move a particular clip up, it's going to create another track. Okay, so you can see by moving it up, it created another track for us. And we have now this to be video 2. If you like, you can import this one and make it video 1. And you can import the other one as well and make it however you want it. And you can go ahead and bring in audio and just attach to them just like so. So you have the audio track, you have video track, and you can work on all of them as you so wish. Now this is about track, which you have to understand before we start editing or carrying out anything. Now another thing you need to actually understand and pay attention to is the inspector tab over here. Whenever you select a particular track, you'll be able to see the inspector feature from here. What this does is it has a range of controls, like in the video controls. You can see this is the video tab. You have the transform feature control, which means you can zoom in and out. You can see we can zoom in. You can link the zoom in, and you can zoom in both Y and X direction. This is all linked. If you like, you can undo this from here, and you can link them. And once you have them linked, they now zoom in and out together, which is the best one, in the X direction and in the Y direction. In the Y direction and the X direction, you can play around with them directly as you so wish. So you can zoom to any feed. And then you have the anchor point. You can change the anchor point from here. You have a range of features, like you can crop from the left. You can crop the image from the left. Very, very interesting. You can crop from the right as well, or from the top or bottom. however you want it. So it's very easy and it's accessible from using Resolve. Okay, so you have dynamic zoom in cases if you want to move in. When you enable dynamic zoom, you can be able to see when you are playing, the video zooms in automatic. You can see it's kind of slow, but it zooms in, creating keyframes. Okay, you can see the little zooming as we move on with the timeline. So I'll show you how to use this as well and some of the basics when we move on. And you can swap the look. You have different kind of composite you can change from here. You can do speed change. We will look at that in detail as well, real-time scaling and so on. You can check out other super scale if you're interested. So this actually has to do with the video editing, video properties of this particular clip that we've just selected. Everything you'll be able to find them here. All right. And then if there is an audio attached to this, you can always check and access its properties from here, like the volume. You can increase or decrease the volume, and then the dialect leveler and the pitch, you can increase or decrease, speed change, you can enable the equalizer and so on, and this other bunch of controls. So you can be able to have access to all of these. Still on the same image or footage, once you have it selected, you can still have access to the effects if you are interested. Okay, so this is just the video and audio properties that you can change directly from the inspector panel. So you can do that across all of the footage. Once you select a footage, you'll be able to know if it is an audio, if it's a video. If it contains both, you'll be able to have access to both of them. Like this one is just an audio, so you may not be able to have access to video because it doesn't have a video part. Okay, so this is just a bit about understanding the track operations as well as the inspector properties of Resolve. Okay, in the next class, we're going to look at the basic editings within DaVinci Resolve, how to edit your videos, do some cuttings, joining, streamings within DaVinci Resolve. Okay, so until next time, thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next class. Bye.